Hi, this is Mike from Mike's Unboxing Reviews and How To, and on today's video we'll be taking a look at actually one of your lot's PC. Yep, this is going to be a viewer's potential PC build. We're going to take a look at it, take a look at the specs, we're going to look at the pricing. I've actually made some modifications to what their suggested specs were. This is a PC which has actually been recommended to the user. This is from Eggmaster, I think it was called. Yes, Eggmaster from our Discord, who posted in our PC build advice and was wondering if the PC that he'd been quoted for was actually worth the money, and maybe if we could do anything better. So let's get straight into it. Okay, so in today's video we're taking a look at a what I would normally refer to as a budget PC, but in the market these days anything is budget is not a word that we tend to use. Everything is slightly overpriced and either unobtainable or, yeah, just ridiculously expensive for what it is. Now, this user actually had a budget of somewhere in the region of about £570. I think it's 573. We'll see in a minute on the screen when we go over to it. And you'd think you could actually get quite a lot for your money in that, but actually the choices are somewhat limited. Now, this is going to be a PC for very light work gaming. Obviously, because graphics cards are essentially not available for sensible prices, we're going with an integrated APU type system. Yeah, so can we make it any better? Can we do a better deal? Is it a good value PC? Now we'll go through the lists and the specifications, then I'll go through my specifications after to see what improvements could be made for approximately the same money. But what I'm really looking for in this video is for you guys to get involved in the comment section. Let us know what you think of it. Obviously, down to regional variations and product availability, this price is going to kind of be skewed. I'll put links to the PC part picker actually in the video description, so you can check both of the ones out and see if there's any recommendations you would make. But again, we'd love to hear from you in the comments. But with that said, let's get straight into the specifications. So first of all, here we are. This is the Eggmaster Ryzen 3400G. Yep, 3400G, still making an appearance here in 2022. Anyway, the price is what it says there. That was what they were quoted, £573.49 of your English pence. Now this is for the PC to be purchased, built, assembled and sent in the post. So that is what we're dealing with. So potentially the postage price is going to be something which might be a problem. The build isn't going to be a problem because this is a relatively simple one which we can definitely help them through and let them build it and give them some advice, etc. And then obviously you know what you've gone into your system and you've actually learned a new skill, if you want to, that is. Postage wise is all going to be included because it'll come straight from the manufacturers for the individual components. Anyway, I'm dithering, let's get on with it. So obviously, first of all, we've got the AMD Ryzen 5 3400G processor. Now this, we don't know the exact price which has been quoted for this. This is kind of speculation, and I'm going on the prices available at the moment from PC Part Picker here in the UK. So this is subject to some slight changes. Now I've put the processor as being £200. That is about the best price I could find on the retail market currently here in the UK, which in itself isn't a particularly good price for that processor. Normally you would be able to pick one of those up somewhere in the region of about 150 if you could get one. Anyway, I digress. So they did mention actually in their listing of the specs that it does come with the Arctic Alpine 23 CPU cooler, which is absolutely fine, and for just under £8 is okay. Personally, I would have said just go with the stock cooler. It isn't that bad and will certainly get the job done, and that way you could trim a little bit off of that. The next up is the Asus TUF Gaming B450 Plus 2 ATX AM4 motherboard, which again, absolutely fine. This is a Ryzen 5 3400G, so we are looking at the older 2000 series architecture, which actually does mate up very well with the B450 chipset. RAM-wise, this is a slight bone of contention, but certainly is acceptable. So we've got Corsair's LPX 16 gig 2x8 kit in DDR4 3000 CL15. So CL15, good start. The 3000 speed is going to be absolutely fine with the B450 chipset and is pretty much guaranteed to work. And for the 2000 series of processor, again, it's kind of around that sweet spot of 3200. But ideally for integrated graphics, we kind of want a faster frequency on the RAM just to get that little bit extra out of the onboard APU. But still, absolutely fine. A little bit expensive for what it is. We priced up as about £61.49 or £62 for argument's sake. You can actually get cheaper RAM than this, around about £50 we found for some other brand, which I'll probably link in the video description also. Storage wise, we've got a combo setup here, so we've got a 1TB mechanical drive and also we've got a Kingston A400 SSD. Again, absolutely fine, no issues there. Fine for the boot drive, and then stick your games onto the Seagate Barracuda. Potentially I would be tempted to possibly forego both of those and actually replace it with the NVMe drive. You can get a 1 terabyte NVMe drive for somewhere in the region of about £60, which if you add these two together, 32 and 25, kind of you're in that ballpark anyway. So potentially that might be a better way forward. And also you do lose a little bit of space, but you gain a little bit of speed. So swings and roundabouts there. Case wise, this is going to be down to the individual. Now, the GameMax White Diamond, we actually did review a long time ago. And actually at the time was a pretty decent case. And for the money, £45 for a case with a little bit of RGB sprinkled in isn't a bad shout. So yeah, that is going to be down to the individual. I would certainly make other recommendations in the current marketplace, but again, that is down to the individuals and if they like the look of it. Power supply wise, we've gone with the Corsair CD650 watt, which is 80 watt bronze. Again, not a problem. 650 watts is probably way overkill, but potentially with graphics cards upgrades in the future, at least it's going to be ready for that. Bronze rated isn't going to be the most efficient, but certainly will get the job done. 650 watts is pretty much overkill though, I would say personally. That's coming in at about £50 here in the UK. So that gives us a approximate price of £516.55 for the parts that we could buy off the shelves ourselves. So we're looking somewhere around about the kind of £50–55 mark for shipping, assembly, etc, etc. Now we haven't included a Windows license in this. I'm not too sure whether there was a Windows license included. You could, if you wanted to, obviously pick up a Windows 10 or Windows 11 license key from premiumcdkeys.com for somewhere in the region of about €5, and I'll link that in the video description if it isn't already as well. So if you want to get yourself a cheap Windows key or Office key, then you know where to go. So anyway, that is the suggested spec that was given to us. Now let's take a look at my recommendations and some slight updates. So this is the redo, as you can see there. So I've actually changed quite a few bits and upgraded quite a lot, and to kind of save you all from watching if you don't want to, basically we've spent about an extra £10. But we have got what I would consider a considerably upgraded machine. So first of all, we've upgraded the processor from a Ryzen 5 3400G to a 5600G. So not only with that do we get a couple of extra cores, we also get obviously a better IPC. It's essentially the latest generation technology, whereas obviously the 3400G is 2000 series, so it's getting a little bit long on the tooth. But this is going to be a significantly quicker processor and have a little bit more future-proofing due to those additional 2 cores and additional 4 threads. We've only paid about approximately what we can kind of work out to be about an extra £25, so I think personally that is an excellent investment. Let me know what you think in the comments section. Motherboard-wise, kind of, I was in the air about this a little bit. Gigabyte B450 Gaming X V2 is an absolutely fine motherboard. You're looking at about £90, which saves us approximately about £10 from the previous one, the tough board, but we have jumped from the B450 chipset to the B550, and also the improvements therein with that, such as VRMs, better memory support, etc, etc, and also a little bit of future-proofing on the AM4 platform, well, if that is even a thing these days. Memory-wise, we've jumped up in frequency from 3000 to 3600, and we've spent about £1 more. For Crucial's Ballistix there, nice decent set of RAM and works well and is on the QVL list for that particular board. This is where we've kept the storage the same at the moment, so we've kept the Seagate Barracuda 1TB and also the Kingston A400 just to keep things as like for like as we can, although ideally I would replace that with a Crucial P2 or something along those lines for about £60, which is going to be absolutely fine. If we go down to the case now, I've gone with the Neutron Labs Galaxy W05. I actually use this as my daily driver. It's actually a really nice little case, and if I click on the link, no, I can't click on the link. I'll put that up on the screen for you shortly. Really nice case. Essentially, it's a Lian Li 215 with a little bit less going on inside. So for £40 from eBuyer here in the UK, I think that's a really good shout, and arguably is a much better cooling, efficient system. Just a nicer case to work in all round. Power supply wise, we've upgraded that as well. We've spent about an extra £4, but we've gone from a bronze 650 to a gold rated semi-modular 550 watt, which I think personally is money well spent, especially depending on upgrades. Potentially, I would say with the power supplies, probably worth actually getting rid of both of them, and possibly if this is kind of how the system is going to be for a while, as you know, I'm a cheapskate. I would probably end up going with one of the Cylon, maybe a Cylon 700 watt bronze, for the sake of about £25–30. Again, we can save about £25 there off the price of the power supply. Sometimes you don't really want to spend less on a power supply if you can help it. Each to their own, but certainly that would bring it down to under £500 pretty much. So as you can see, at the moment, the total there at the bottom, £528.20. So that is the prices you can pay. All these items are in stock. As you can see, they're all in green. So that means they're in stock in the UK as we speak. And certainly I think for the money, we spent about an extra £10. And also obviously we'll be assembling it ourselves. You could add on £5 for a Windows CD key or that kind of stuff if you needed to. But I think this is actually the better deal. The stock cooler, which is included with the 5600G, isn't brilliant. But again, because we've saved money against that £573 against this, I'm building it ourselves, there is approximately £50 in the budget to really go to town on a cooler. So you could pick up something really nice there, such as possibly the Silverstone Hydrogon D120 ARGB, which would look absolutely brilliant in that case. I know that because I've done it myself. But yeah, that is pretty much it for the specs. Let us know what you think. Okay, so there you go. Sorry about being a little bit long-winded there. It is what it is. So there are the specs. We've got the 3400G versus the 5600G. Now, obviously, if you're going to build a PC now, the 5600G makes an awful lot of sense, especially at that price. It does depend how much the 3400G was going to cost. We've got no real point of reference for that because essentially it's out of stock everywhere apart from some random shop on the internet, which is not always the best way to go. For me personally, I'd rather pick up a 5600G. I think it does perform considerably better. And again, the newer IPC, all those enhancements in the technology, etc, etc, etc. It's just a better CPU and it's going to do much better in games and also going forward. But my opinion is not important. Yours is, so let us know what you think about this in the comments section below. Is there anything else you would change? Would you maybe consider going with a micro ATX setup with this and then save money on both the case and the motherboard? Possibly put in a MSI B450 Pro VDH. At the moment, around about £60. So potentially we could save another £25 off the bill. Maybe get a slightly better case or an upgraded case. Again, let us know what you think in the comments section below. But for now, I've been Mike. This is Mike's Unboxing Reviews and How To, and hopefully we'll catch you in the very next video. Thanks for watching.